All right, and we'll call to order a special meeting of the Wellington Board of Selectmen. Today is March 23rd, 2022. It's 12:30 p.m. Just note all three selectmen are in attendance. All right, so the first item is to approve the vendor for the Arpa Public Works Radio project. You should both have in front of you the request, the quote that our Public Works Director received. The ARPA Commission on Monday approved, I believe it was $38,000 for a radio project. We began with this radio system in the majority of our fleet. So the majority of the plow trucks, I believe the newest plow truck, does the newest one have a radio, Troy? Okay. Is there something right now that doesn't? Is the 450 we got, does that have this radio?
Nope. Everything has a radio.
Everything does, okay.
All the plow trucks, all the newer trucks, yes, yep.
So
These radios,
no, go ahead.
these radios one would go into the grader, the two mowers, the sweeper, stuff like that. There would be a base unit here in the garage instead of having a portable. There'd be some portables if they were out directing traffic. So pretty much everything here would have a radio on it.
Perfect. So as you hear Troy say, there were some pieces of equipment where they still don't have radio. So lose out on a dirt road grading, there's no radio in that. So this will allow us to make sure we have adequate communication no matter where they are in town for all of our equipment. And there will also be a portable here in the town office building so that in the event we needed to communicate with them, it would also come in handy in times of storm related issues, whether it be tropical storm, hurricanes, anything to that effect. If we had to pack up and go, we opened a shelter at Hall School, we'll be able to take a portable with us and be able to communicate a little bit easier around town. And so I'm happy to say that the quote we have in front of us from JNS Radio is under the $38,000 budget. Troy, this is installation and equipment. So this is the entire proposal. We don't anticipate any additional costs.
No, and it actually probably will be a little bit cheaper than that by the time it's all said and done. Because some of that, the only thing that JNS will do is install the antennas on the trucks. So they put some installation stuff in there, but mostly it will be installed. This will be actually the highest it will be. It will actually be lower than the actual number.
So I'll start with making a motion to approve JNS radio sales, $28,946.02 for the Public Works radio project.
Second.
Second by Liza. Any discussion?
Yeah, so this is ARPA. Sorry, I was just clarifying.
Liza? Yeah. This is an ARPA project, yes.
Project, okay. And was approved by the committee.
It was approved on Monday night. Yeah, so after the public hearing, we were able to take some action on some items, and this is one. So what's required of us is to continue to follow the procurement process, which is either a state approved vendor or 3 quotes. This is a state approved vendor. And they also did purchased the other radios, and the fire departments will be moving forward, as well as the schools, with this radio system. And so we anticipate they'll be using the same vendor. Jim, you had a comment?
Yeah, so Liza asked one of the questions I was thinking about as well. So that's clarified. The other thing is this is uses the state police band, the state band. I mean, we use the statewide repeaters and things like that. I think we've talked about this a number of years ago, but I just want to refresh myself to make
So you're cutting out a little bit on us,
thinking
Jim?
and where we ended up with.
All right, you're cutting out a little bit on us, but I think the gist I got was
I was
you wanted to
wondering
make
whether we
sure-
use a state.
Yes. This does use that, and it's fantastic. We haven't had, Troy has spoken a couple of meetings where we haven't had a community, he hasn't found a spot yet, knock on wood, where he hasn't been able to communicate with everyone. And, as you know, Troy doesn't live here in Willington, and he has a radio in his truck. He's been able to talk to them from his home before he heads to Willington and have perfect, clear communication. Some of those deepest, darkest areas around town, they've been able to communicate and the safety aspect of these folks being able to communicate, no matter what piece of equipment they're in, is invaluable.
Good, I'm glad that.
Yeah. All right, so any other discussion? All right, seeing no discussion, I will call for a vote.
Liza,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Erica,
Aye. All right, motion carries. Thank you. Okay, the next item is executive session. So I move that we enter into executive session to discuss a personnel matter and invite the Public Works Director.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, so I'm going to pause the recording. Action can be taken. So you just come out. I'm
Okay.
going to let Kelsey out of the waiting room, maybe. There won't be much for her to hear. So we'll let her come back in and join us. Yes, you don't, you can't take any action in executive session. It all has to be in public if there's action to be taken. And on that note, there was no action to be taken here today. So I would, we came out of executive session at 1:04. We began the recording again. Unless there's any other business before us on the matter under executive session, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
So moved.
So moved by Jim,
Oh,
seconded
second.
by Liza. All
Did
right,
it
all
wrong
the,
last
is a
time, too.
non-debatable matter. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. All right, Kelsey, you came in for all the excitement. Stop the recording.